So today's guest wanted to raise $20,000 using crowdfunding website Indiegogo. That sounds pretty reasonable. He ended up exceeding that by a lazy 6,816%. Nice work if you can get it.
Welcome to the Small Business Big Marketing Show, where successful small business owners share their secrets to take your marketing to the next level. Now here's your host, Tim Reid.
Welcome back, listeners, to another episode of Australia's #1 marketing show. I am your host, Timbo Reid, but you, so much more importantly, are a motivated small business owner ready, I hope you're ready, to crank out some great marketing. I guess you're ready because that's why you're here. That is why you are listening to this show. And boy, oh boy, do I hope that you have been learning some marketing gold along the way and implementing. In fact, I'm about to share with you an example of a listener and a forum member that is implementing and seeing some amazing results. She has done something quite incredible. More on that in a minute. I have also got a guest today, as you heard, who seems to have nailed crowdfunding. We haven't had the crowdfunding discussion on this show yet, so you're going to hear from someone who well and truly exceeded his business's expectations with a very cool product, by the way, as well. That's a tautology. And I've got a listener question about where to host your marketing videos. Great question. 3 options, which I'll share. And, of course, an inspirational marketing quote of the week to get you moving at the very end of this episode. So plenty to cover. Let's get stuck right in.
Small Business Big Marketing with Tim Reid. smallbusinessbigmarketing.com.
Now, as you know, this show is made possible by 2 very, very kind sponsors. Not only are they kind, they are also incredibly helpful when it comes to helping you sort out your marketing. First of all, 99 Designs. Go and check 99designs.com/SBBM out. I'll explain why that exact address in a minute. Suffice to say, you will get the design you love. Check this out. Logo designs from $299. Social media pages from $149. Clothing and merch. Bit of merch. Need a t-shirt or a coffee mug designed? $189. Christmas card invite, or a Christmas card party invite, I should say, $199, and it goes on and on. But it's so inexpensive and so quick. The way it works is it's a 7-day design contest. You post your brief, you get dozens of designers compete to deliver your best design or their best design to you. You choose one, award the prize money, and you get the high-res files of that design sent to you, all within 7 days. And, wait for it, 100% money-back guarantee. Nothing to lose there, team. Head over to 99designs.com/SBBM to get a $99 Power Pack upgrade free today, which makes your contest stand out and on average results in 185% more designs completed coming your way. Gotta love that. 99designs.com/SBBM. Now, while I'm on the topic of sharing businesses with you that can help you improve your marketing, helping you get more done with spending less, gotta love that. Check this out for a stat. 89% of people searching on Google don't go past the first page of results. 89%. That's a quote, a stat from Marketing Sherpa. And that's where Net Registry can help you out. A great website isn't so great if no one visits it, right? So that's why it's important to ensure your website is search engine friendly and on the first page of Google. Hey, you got to make sure. I see so many business owners put their heart and soul into getting their website looking great, and then they think the work is done, and it's not. So Net Registry can help you get the good-looking website designed and developed and hosted with the domain name and all that, but then they can get it found for you. They can do website reviews, search engine optimization, email marketing, pay-per-click marketing, not pay-per-click marketing, pay-per-click marketing. Oh, that makes me laugh every time. And basically, they'll get your online marketing sorted. So head over to netregistry.com.au, or you can call 1300 638 734 and tell them Timbo sent you. Let's get stuck into a listener question. Great question, this one, about video marketing and where to host one's marketing videos. It's from Paul McPhail from New Zealand, by the looks of things. He says, "Hey, Timbo." Hey, Paul. "Thanks for your awesome podcast." Well, Paul, thanks for listening, mate, because without the listener, this ain't a show. It's just me having a conversation in my office. It has been so helpful for my current business and a new venture I am embarking on. My question is about which video hosting you think would be best to use. I noticed you use Wistia, and I also think Vimeo looks clean and professional. I don't like YouTube clips, as I think, that's Paul saying that, as I think they just look a bit cheap, but I presume that it is the place that will get the best traffic. So who do you recommend going with for the more professional look, or YouTube, which bring more traffic to the site? Oh, a bit of a typo there, but you know what I mean. Paul, great question, asked by many small business owners who are thinking or are doing video marketing. Here's the thing. YouTube is the big daddy of them all. Second biggest search engine in the world, owned by Google, and it's where the traffic is and it's where the engagement is. It's where people can leave comments and share your video. So it's important. It is a traffic machine. That said, not the prettiest players on earth, and lots of YouTube branding. And that's where Wistia comes in. In fact, I interviewed Wistia, the owner of Wistia, on episode 127. So I'll put that in the show notes for this show. His name was Chris Savage, and he goes into detail about what Wistia is all about. But quite simply, great. It's dedicated video hosting. Beautifully customizable player. So you've got a nice frame, very elegant, simplistic frame. No branding if you choose to pay, I think it's like $25 a month to get rid of the branding. But they've got like 50 videos free forever. You just got to take a bit of Wistia branding on board. But they've got other cool things too, like very good analytics. You can see where people stopped and started playing your video and all that type of stuff, where they came from, what device they're looking at your video on. Wistia's got a cool thing called Turnstile that allows you to embed a field into your video, where people can leave their email address. So that's pretty cool. And it's got no ads. But it's not a place for traffic. It's just a really cool place to a solid video hosting platform. And then there's Vimeo, as you mentioned, Paul. More of a kind of creative community on Vimeo. Maybe I don't use video that much. I went and checked it out before I hit record. And yeah, it's more kind of less, there's no ads, more of a creative community on there, customizable player still. And they offer 25 gigs a year for free as well, which you probably need to take on some branding. But for mine, YouTube for traffic, Wistia for hosting, all your fancy videos that you want to do, you want to get more analytics and a nicer video experience with. So, Paul, hey, thanks for your question, mate. Love it. Feel free to send me a question, anyone who's listening, questions@smallbusinessbigmarketing.com. I might just answer it in a coming show, or you can put it in the forum and I'll answer it tomorrow. All right, now speaking of the Small Business Big Marketing Forum, I have got a wonderful story of success from one of my members in Jemima, from Big Air School. It's a bit of a long one, but it's worth reading because there's marketing learnings inside what Jemima reports. So stick with me as we work our way through this. I think you're going to enjoy it. She wrote this inside the forum. She said, about a year ago, I was strolling around Balmain listening to an episode on National Porridge Day. Yeah, I interviewed a lady, Flip Shelton. She produces a boutique brand of muesli, and she started National Porridge Day to compete against the big guys. Jemima says, and within 10 minutes of getting back to my computer, I'd bought a URL, like domain name, and was planning National Skate Park Day. I work in action sports and youth engagement, skate, BMX, parkour, scooter. which has exactly diddly squat to do with porridge. Oh, you got to eat porridge before you do that stuff, Kiralee. It's not Kiralee, Jemima. With porridge, but there were a couple of things that really hit a nerve with me in that episode. Firstly, I love the idea that there is no official governing body that decides whether you can create a national day. Well, that's cool. Less rules, the better. Secondly, it seemed like a pretty awesome way of becoming a key person of influence in my industry. Tick. Thirdly, I liked the absurdity of the concept. Yeah! In a crowded marketplace, we need absurd concepts sometimes to stick our head above the trench. I agree, Jemima. So, after purchasing the domain name skateparkday.com.au and deciding on a date 12 months ahead, I went about putting a bit more meat on the bones of my idea. The idea was pitched as an opportunity for young people to engage with their community and local government about the importance of skate parks as active recreation areas. Fantastic. Starting to flesh out the idea. Now, here's what she offered up. From a business perspective, she invited local councils to register to receive a three-pronged package, which included webinars for motivated young people to learn how to put on events. Cool. Marketing support and access to customisable event promotion materials like posters and Facebook cover pics, etc. She promised national media coverage and a pack which included prizes and giveaways for up to 300 participants. Wow. These were supplied by sponsors and ended up being valued at over $1,200 each. Jemima, you are nailing this. So, insert drum roll. I ended up having 20 communities from all over Australia holding events on the day. That is a great outcome for the very, very first National Skate Park Day. Most places got pretty good coverage on their local events, and I was ecstatic to get a feature article in the Daily Telegraph about the initiative. Daily Telegraph for overseas listeners, probably overseas listener, yeah, one of you. One of the biggest papers in Australia, newspapers in Australia. And however, this is the last bit, which I really love. However, for me, the best bit came from a guy who contacted me because he was kicked out of school, been on the dole for 3 years, and the only thing he loved to do was skate. He ended up getting his local council on board, went to the library for the first time ever to use the free Wi-Fi. Love that. And subsequently spent hours there preparing for the event. Isn't that beautiful? After running a successful event on National Skate Park Day, he's applied for grants to improve the skate park and put in lights for safer night skating, and recently made inquiries about studying event management at TAFE. And he wants to go on tour with Big Air School to teach skating to disadvantaged communities. And that, says Jemima, is what makes me beam with pride. So thank you, Timbo and Porridge Lady, for sowing the seed for National Skate Park Day. Wow. Jemima, thank you for sharing that. Thank you for being a forum member too. I just love the fact that you took action. In episode 209, Griffo and I banged on for an hour about taking action. Many people would have had an idea, not necessarily for National Skate Park Day, but for something, another national day, some marketing initiative. And guess what? It remained an idea. You've had the guts, the courage, the enthusiasm, the chutzpah to take action. That's what it's all about. You know? Getting stuff done, having a crack and putting it to market. And you did, and look what the market did. It loves it. Now, Jemima, your challenge is to keep doing it. Next year, the year after that. These things grow. I interviewed, just today actually, which will come out next week, the founder of TEDx in Melbourne. He started with a mailing list of 53 people in 2009. He had 2 million social media mentions this year, 5 years on. These things grow. You've touched a nerve, Jemima. May you continue to tickle it. Kind of weird expression, but we'll go with that. Hey, listeners, head over to crankmymarketing.com if you want to be like Jemima, associate with other motivated business owners, and join the Small Business Big Marketing Forum. I'm in there every day, and I love hearing those success stories, which are coming through a lot quicker these days. crankmymarketing.com. Righto, so today's guest is Christian Smith from a product, or the founder of a product called Trackr. Now, I first came across Trackr on my Facebook page. Every time I went to Facebook, there was this ad for Trackr. I particularly loved the design, or do love the design of Trackr. Trackr is just a little disc, and Christian will explain this, so I won't go into any great detail, but it's a little disc you can put on anything that you don't want to lose, and then you can track it using your smartphone. I love the fact that also Christian and his people were very responsive to an interview request, which good on them for wanting to get the word for Trackr out there. Christian is, as I'm just going to have a look at his bio, Trackr has built a network of over 5 million users who crowdsourced the location of 300,000 Trackr Bluetooth devices sold to customers. And now here's the really interesting thing. He recently raised $1.25 million in a crowdfunding project on Indiegogo. Well, that number has actually increased. Put it this way, he wanted to get 20 grand to fund this idea. He achieved 6,816% on top of the 20 grand. So it's pretty significant. So listen in, you'll discover how to get your crowdfunding project off the ground. He's got a very clever product demo idea that he shares right at the end of this interview, actually. And also, I think it's a really interesting chat about how to market something that people don't know exists. Okay, it's a kind of new product. So that's interesting in itself. I started off by asking Christian, what is Trackr and how does it work?
Sure. So we came up with the concept of Trackr in 2008 when my business partner and I, Chris, were at university. And one of our friends walked into the dining commons and he was late for dinner and he said, "Sorry, hey guys, I'm sorry I'm late. I couldn't find my keys." And so Chris and I are both engineers, and we thought, let's solve that problem. Well, you can't lose something if it's tied to you. So we created these little wireless devices, and they're the size of quarters or just a small coin. Mm-hmm. And you can stick it onto anything, attach it to your keys, and through a smartphone application, you can press a button to beep your keys or beep your remote control. If you can't find your phone, and it slips into the couch cushions, you press a button on the Trackr and it rings your phone, even if your phone's on silent. And then the app is really smart, and it's kind of geo-aware of where things are left. So if you leave your backpack at your friend's house, and then it will remember where it is on a Google map. And if one of the other 5 million people in our crowd GPS network walk by your lost item, you get an update of where that thing was left. Now, that's pretty cool. And in 2008, an idea like that would have been pretty groundbreaking. When your friend came into the dining room at uni and said he'd lost his keys, that's why he was late, did you and Chris, who is your other business partner, was it like there and then that you looked at each other and gone, wow, we've got to solve that? Or how long after did the idea actually come to you? So it was funny because we were brainstorming business plan ideas for the business plan competition at the university. Okay, so you had your radar on. Yeah, right. We were ready for it. And it was, that was the aha moment was, well, you can't lose anything if you tie it to yourself. So why not wirelessly tie all of these things together? Brilliant. Just explain that. The part of that I can't quite get my head around is you got 5 million users right now. Yeah, our crowd GPS network is about 5 million people. So in order for someone to join the crowd, only our app, it's also we work with a partner app called Open Garden, and they're a Bluetooth chat app. Mm-hmm. So say you want to message, your friend via Bluetooth, then Open Garden's Fire Chat app allows you to do that. And we've also incorporated Trackr devices into that conversation of the Internet of Things. Gotcha. So you needed to do a JV with someone else in order to really build that network into something significant upfront, yeah? We've worked with a few partners to help build that network as we're as we're shipping out devices and getting people on board.
So just put some numbers around where Trackr is at now, Christian. Like how many users have you got, revenue, staff? What's your scoreboard look like?
Sure. So we've shipped over 300,000 Trackr devices. And we hit that number, earlier. We announced that first earlier this summer. Mm-hmm. And then our Trackr Bravo device, which we're really excited about, that we launched that campaign to crowdfund that in June and raised over $1.25 million US.
So what's Trackr Bravo versus Trackr?
So Trackr Bravo is a single piece of brushed aluminum that wraps around that little circuit board and battery, and it makes the thinnest tracking device, which is what our customers have really told us is they want thin.
So it's a thinner version. It's your MacBook Air.
It has a similar finish to the MacBook Air.
Well, when I say that, like MacBook Air is the thin version of the MacBook Pro, where Trackr Bravo is the thin version of Trackr. Is that it?
Exactly. Yes. Uh-huh. Yeah.
So does that mean you will no longer produce a Trackr and the Bravo unit is where it's going?
We're constantly evolving our product portfolio, and we see that there's going to be different uses for different devices. So we'll be continuing to sell the sticker tracker and the wallet tracker, and we're adding the Bravo to the portfolio.
Sticker tracker.
Yes.
What's that?
That is about the size of. I wish I knew what the coins in Australia look like, but it's 25 millimeters in diameter,
yeah, right,
and 5 millimeters tall.
Cool.
So it's just this tiny little device that it works great for putting it onto bikes, remote controls, and things like that.
Now, 300,000 units out there as of the start of your summer this year. When did you actually launch?
So we started the company in 2009 after winning the business plan competition. Mm-hmm. And we moved into a garage and started, making the first prototype, which we launched in 2010. So we've been a company since 2010.
So that's 4 years. Is 300,000 is a big number, but have you taken a relatively slow approach?
Sure. So the first few products, those were when BlackBerry had a large market share. They were a little bit larger devices, mm-hmm. But most of our volume has been done under the Trackr brand, with the wallet tracker and sticker tracker. And we're really excited to launch the Trackr Bravo to kind of add to that portfolio of growing devices.
So I was going to ask you whether you'd taken a lean startup philosophy to getting to market, but it doesn't sound like you have. Like lean startup would say, get it to market, sharpen the offer on the stone of the market, let the market report back to you. But it sounds like you've kind of worked hard to get it right and build this thing out slowly.
Sure. So the first version of the product that we shipped was in 2010, mm-hmm. and that was about the size of a rubber eraser, and the battery, it lasted for a week, and it hooked up to a BlackBerry Curve. So we've been fans of shipping early and shipping often, ever since we started the company, mm-hmm. And it's really allowed us to bootstrap the company and grow it into what we what it now is, and using a crowdfunding business model has really it's very much in tune with the lean startup mentality, where you can offer a product to customers, and they can actually vote if they want the product with actual dollars. And
Yeah,
so we found that very, very lean and very, very helpful for our market research.
Well, I haven't had the crowdfunding discussion on this show yet, and so it's time we did, and I'm excited to hear how you've gone about it. So you've used a website called Indiegogo. That was your source of crowdfunding. You had a goal. I find this amazing. You had a goal of $20,000 to raise. You exceeded that goal by 6,816% when I looked, and you've raised $1.3 million from 20,000 funders. HTF, Christian, HTF.
Well, we definitely, the Trackr Bravo was our third crowdfunding campaign on Indiegogo. And we, did several on our own websites. So we've had lots of practice on just understanding how to communicate with customers. And I would say that, with the sticker tracker and wallet tracker, we got tons of customer feedback on what they were interested in. So we were able to, really grow our customer base and find out what they wanted. And Trackr Bravo really embodied, a lot of, feedback from thousands of customers since we started the company.
Okay, so what's the trick for someone listening to this going, crowdfunding, huh? I could raise some funds to bring my idea to life. What's the secret sauce to a successful crowdfunding campaign?
Well, I don't think there's really too much, of a secret. I mean, it's really good, marketing fundamentals and just understanding your customer. So that's, submitting lots of surveys and getting as much information as you can on what customers want. And then, in iterating, in fast design cycles, and testing those iterations with your customers. So just, having that, early audience and that you can, build the product around is very important for creating that a strong crowdfunding campaign. And then, having a very clear message and good pricing, I think are all key points.
Do you mean pricing not for the actual product, but pricing for what people are willing to, I don't know if donate's the word, but contribute?
Yes. So on Indiegogo, all of the contributions are essentially donations. So people are, saying, I believe that, I'm going to give you my $29 for one Trackr Bravo, and if everybody works together, then we think that you can actually make this. So that really, having a pricing that people are receptive to. I mean, if we did, you don't want to make crowdfunding pricing so exorbitant that the normal person couldn't participate in your journey.
So it's really a numbers game. I mean, you've got 20,000 plus funders. I guess on average giving you how much? I can't do my maths on the run, but giving you tens of dollars as opposed to a smaller amount giving you thousands or tens of thousands of dollars.
Exactly. Yeah, and you just want to have like a very clear, value trade with your backers and that early audience, because they are really, they're investing up front in in the idea and the product because they believe in it. That I think that it's just it's really great to give those people the value that they deserve.
I'm looking at your Indiegogo page now, and you tick a whole lot of marketing fundamentals. Beautifully laid out. You've got a great video that's beautifully shot. It sells the message in 1 minute 59, so less than 2 minutes. You then go through. You got some beautiful photography. You have got then the offers. For anything from what do we got? $5 right through to $99, $109 are the various ways of funding, and for that you get various things in return. So it's not quite a donation, is it? It's like, you give us $109, you're going to give me 10 devices plus laser engraving. So I am getting something for funding you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yes. Yeah. So we wanted to make it clear that, because there is that deal for, mm-hmm. if you are, going to come along and support us for $100, then we can really give you that value.
Yep.
And that's something that, after the campaign is over, that we won't be able to continue to do. Mm-hmm. So really it's, we wanted to give everyone a deal.
Is crowdfunding, who's it most suited to?
So there are, it's more about the audience. We see that, if there are tangible goods, then that really helps. People understand what they're getting. When there's software involved, there haven't been quite as many successful products. However, there's a TV celebrity who did a kids show in the States called Reading Rainbow. Mm-hmm. And this actor named LeVar Burton had a wildly successful crowdfunding campaign for an application, an educational app. So it really varies.
Comes down to the marketing, I guess.
Yeah, just telling a very clear story to your audience and your customer, and helping make it easy for them to tell their friends, I think is another aspect. Having sharing, making it rewarding for people to share. So that was one thing that we did. If you look at the campaign page, the first thing that you can do, or the first thing that you can purchase, is a color upgrade. Mm-hmm. And we would actually rather give that person a color upgrade for free if they share with their friends. And Indiegogo has some really great sharing tools that people can use to get the word out about the campaign.
Do you get that? You're sitting on 1.371 million in terms of funding. Does that when do they release that money? Does that come through each time someone donates, or how does that work?
So the way that Indiegogo works is when someone invests in your campaign, that Indiegogo will deposit that into a PayPal account.
Nice. And they clip the ticket.
What was that?
They take a commission.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, they do.
How much?
It depends on the type of campaign that you're running. Mm-hmm. But I believe it's about 4%.
Uh-huh. Now, listeners, I'm talking to Christian Smith, who is the co-founder of a wonderful device called Trackr. Now, Christian, you are an ex-manufacturing engineer. You live in a pretty geeky space with this product, Trackr. Before I talk about the marketing of Trackr, what's your favourite gadget?
Gosh, personally, my favorite gadget, I really love my MacBook Air.
Aha! Well, there's a coincidence.
I love I love the physical keyboard, and
yep.
I pretty much have it holstered to myself at all times. So that's it's definitely my favorite gadget, my favorite tool.
It kills me that you said that, because only last night I went out and bought the new iPad Air 2, and I stood in the Mac store thinking, that keyboard, I like the keyboard, I like the tactileness of that keyboard. Should I get the Air? Should I get the Air? No, I'll get the Mac. I'll get the iPad. And sure enough, I got the iPad, but I think the Air will be my next purchase. One of the things that I'm a bit fussy here, but I don't like the frame around the screen of the MacBook Air. I want them to go more to the edge with the screen.
Oh,
It's kind of
hopefully they do that soon.
Yeah. Well,
Cool.
it just looks a bit old school. Nothing wrong with old school, mind you, but it just looks a bit dated with that. Maybe they're still working out how they can extend the screen. So,
the one thing that I have a hard time with on the iPad is I just can't do hotkeys. And I love my hotkeys.
Yeah. I've coined a phrase, and I know I piss the listeners off who actually love the other side of town, with the dark side, the PC side of town. But I've coined a phrase called marketing, because I think Macs are made for marketing. They are made to market your business. They've got so many cool functions and apps, and the intuitive ease of use makes them ideal for marketing.
Oh yeah, they're great. It's great for image processing and video editing.
Yeah, all that stuff. I've just lost half my audience, but hey, the ones that are listening, they'll stick with us. Now let's talk about marketing, Christian. Trackr is a beautiful looking device. You've spent a lot of time on the aesthetic, the videos that you create, the photography that you use to market. Aesthetic, it looks beautiful. And so I don't think, you've put some work in there. You're an ex-manufacturing engineer. I'm guessing someone else is responsible.
We did. We have a partner that we brought in early on, who's an industrial designer.
Aha.
So he makes everything absolutely beautiful.
Yeah. It is so important, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. And, I can't take credit for any of the Bravo design. But I did get to take a crack at the accessories. So I got to design all the accessories. But yeah, for the most part, I'm not doing any of the design work anymore.
Why did you get a crack at the accessories? Did you slam your fist on the table and say, I want my design opinion respected around here just because I was an engineer?
I know I'm not good at it, but I got it done and it looked good. So.
Good on you. Well, and so that partner, that industrial designer, is responsible for the entire brand and how it looks.
There are a few. We have a team of people that we work with that are all contributing to different areas of the Trackr brand.
So you talked about accessories. What are you talking about? I think you've got a pet collar.
Yes, yeah, a
what
pet
else?
collar. We have a waterproof housing, just in case you're afraid that you're going to drop your keys in a puddle.
Oh, yeah.
And we also have a really nice steel key ring. We came up with probably about 10 different accessory ideas, and those 3 were the most popular with our audience.
Right.
So we brought those 3 into the campaign.
Now, I noticed one of your competitors, Tile, have partnered up with an umbrella brand to make the world's first trackable umbrella. I was wondering when that was going to come out. Are you looking at doing more kind of extensions into other product ranges, or in fact, embedding the Trackr technology into products at a production level? So
we work with a few brands to create, to add tracking to their products. One of them is Parabellum. They're a US-based leather manufacturer, and they make some beautiful high-end wallets. We've worked with a few companies and are always interested to find, interesting partners and products to work with.
Is it potentially a bigger revenue stream to partner up with, high-end products that you just don't want to lose? Like, why wouldn't you speak to, well, Apple aren't going to let you in, but why wouldn't you speak to, what's the big bag manufacturer, the Gucci or whoever makes expensive bags, Chanel? Why wouldn't you partner up with them and say, hey, listen, we can make your bags trackable. We'll build it in at the manufacturing stage. That's surely got to be a value add for their customers.
Yeah, that's a really interesting idea. That's possible. And, it's funny because during our sticker tracker campaign, talking about trackable umbrellas, one thing that is really great to do on Indiegogo campaigns to build kind of your influence and spread the idea is to partner with other companies and share how your products could work together. So we actually made an announcement, and this was in the summer of 2013, with the Ginkgo umbrella on Indiegogo, we announced to our backers that they should get a Ginkgo umbrella and a sticker tracker so that they could track their umbrella. And then Ginkgo also announced to their backers that they should get a sticker tracker to track their Ginkgo.
Right. What's a Ginkgo umbrella?
It's a really beautifully designed Italian umbrella. It's very colorful and
right.
Yeah, it's made out of all sustainable materials.
I saw an umbrella, I think it was yesterday or the day before, and I think it was for real, but it was the new version of an umbrella is where it blows the water away from you. So it actually doesn't have a cover. Does it?
Oh, that's cool. I want one.
Well, yeah, it's kind of, I don't know how, it looked a bit weird, but whether that was, I don't know, sometimes you see those things, you think, is that real or is someone just, stirring the pot?
In your leg, right?
Yeah, correct. But, theoretically, good concept. So, Christian, what next for Trackr, mate? What's the next big, have you got another, is there another crowdfunding campaign in the pipe works, or what is there ahead?
Gosh, we're really excited for CES. We'll have some fun announcements at the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas in early January 2015.
Okay, well, tell us what they are. Don't worry, don't wait till then.
I can't spill the beans. That wouldn't be any fun for our marketing team.
you must get some nice letters from people saying, oh, thank God I had Trackr. I would have lost my kid otherwise or something.
Gosh, yeah, we've gotten a ton of great feedback on how Trackr's helped people. Mm-hmm. And, that's really, really exciting because, as someone who, in college, I could barely keep track of my own keys and wallet. It was bad. I guess it's just that engineer brain is somewhere else. It's on a different planet sometimes.
Yeah.
To hear that other people, really benefited from the solution has been fantastic. Just with the app alone, people have found over 1 million items, since we launched the Trackr app.
Man, you've got to promote. That's a great number. I haven't seen that stat in anything I've seen. Maybe it's there, but is that a number that you use in your marketing message?
Yeah, we've put it out there in some marketing messaging, but it's really exciting to see that the system works, and Trackr is the app for helping you find your stuff.
I think numbers when they're that big, they're so powerful in marketing. I've got a lady by the name of Michelle Bridges coming on my show in a couple of weeks' time, and she's like the personal trainer to the stars, and she has an online weight loss program, and she quotes the number of she's helped Australians lose 1.3 million kilograms of weight. And when you hear numbers like that, I think they're really powerful, really compelling.
Wow, that's tremendous.
Yeah. Well, having found 1 million devices is tremendous too. So, what other marketing? As I said, you keep appearing on my Facebook feed, so you really got the Facebook advertising under control. What other marketing do you find most effective to get the Trackr message out there?
Gosh, we see that social channels are great ways to get the word out. Making just YouTube videos that show the system working have been really fun. We actually have been really relying on our crowd GPS network, and so when we wanted to test this, we bought a fleet of bikes off of Craigslist, all used bikes, and we would just go around town and leave the bikes out. And, eventually someone would take them. And a few days after someone would take them, we'd get an update from our crowd GPS network that would show us where the bike was. So someone would, steal the bike and then take it to their house. And then we made a video where we knocked on, someone's door and asked them for our bike back.
Brilliant.
And, it turns out that, they'd taken the bike and, they weren't sure, if they wanted to give it back. But when we were able to beep the bike from the app, then they kind of knew, okay, well, it's yours. You can have it back. So that was a really fun video.
That's brilliant. I'll put a link to that video in the show notes. Where did that idea come from?
My business partner came up with that one. He said, let's test it. And, and so, it worked out really, really well. It's just, it's great to see that we can take what the app and actually use it in the real world.
Love it. Great product, Christian. One last question. Is it likely to find its way into retail outlets, or will it always be an online purchase?
We'll have some announcements for that in 2015.
I think I might have identified one of those announcements. Love it. Christian, good luck with it, mate. Love the product. Looks beautiful. Look forward to putting my order in on some trackers, and hopefully a few of our listeners, hopefully you'll see the Australian orders increase having appeared on the show. How can people find it?
Go to www.thetrackr.com. It's Trackr without the E. We lost the E.
Because you couldn't get the E, or because you didn't want the E?
We've been calling it Trackr for the past few years, so we like that name a lot.
Good on you, mate. Thanks for being part of the Small Business Big Marketing Show, Christian.
Great. Thanks so much for having me, Tim. Take care.
Righto, team. I hope you enjoyed that little chinwag, that little fireside chat with Christian Smith, which was brought to you by the very good folk at Net Registry and 99designs.com/SBBM. Now, my top 3 learnings. Number 1, understand your customers. What do they want? Do surveys. Ask them. Constantly ask them. Don't do one survey a year. Survey them formally and informally on an ongoing basis to keep inside their minds. Again, the interview I do with the founder of TEDx Melbourne, John Yo. John talks at length about this. That'll be next week's episode. Tip number 2 from a chat with Christian, do extreme product or service demos. I loved his stolen bike video. I'll put a link to it. I'll embed it in the show notes for this episode, which is episode 212. A past guest also did some extreme product demos with the Will It Blend series, Tom Dixon. That was amazing. And it becomes so shareable, and that's what we love in marketing. Things that people want to share. Hey, if you like this show, pass it on. Email the link to one other person who you think could do with a bit of marketing love. Number 3, learning from that chat with Christian, consider crowdfunding as a way to raise funds for your idea. Can't do it all ourselves. Many of you might be cash strapped. Doesn't mean you can't raise the money. Sites like Indiegogo, Pozible, that's Pozible, Ozcrowd, Kickstarter. These are all places where you can crowdfund money for your idea. I'll put links to those in the show notes too. So again, head over to smallbusinessbigmarketing.com, look for episode 212, or just key in Trackr, Trackr, into the search box, and this episode will pop up. But then my top 3 learnings, what were yours? Leave a comment in the show notes. Alrighty, we are nearing the end of this episode, but let me share this week's inspirational quote of the week with you to get you heading off in the right direction. I love this one. It's from a anonymous, don't know who said it. I could put my name to it. I'd say it, but they're not my words. I'll just share it with you. Consumers are probably the best consultants your company can hire. Gotta love that. Consumers are probably the best consultants your company can hire. How true is that? Going back to my little learning from my chat with Christian, you gotta understand your customers. So don't hire consultants. Just have a listen to what your consumers have got to say. Righty-o. That brings us to the end of this episode. Thanks to Net Registry and the good guys at 99designs.com/SBBM. Next week, or not just next week. How's this for upcoming guests? John Yo, founder of TEDx Melbourne, or curator, as he likes to be called, did that interview today. It's a cracker. Oh, If you don't know what TED is, go to TED.com and brush up there, and then join me at next week's episode, because honestly, it's a great discussion about branding, about how to get bums on seats. He just did an event for 900 people, sold out in 2 weeks, one which I went to, actually. It was fantastic. It's a discussion about the fact that we should never stop learning. It's just a great discussion. Look forward to getting that one to you. Got a fellow, Dan Delaney. Don't know him from a bar of soap, but he owns a barbecue restaurant in New York City. And looking forward to that chat. He's doing some clever things with his marketing. Michelle Bridges, hey, personal trainer to the stars in Australia. I've got Michelle coming on the show. Got the Chief Executive Officer of 99 Designs coming on to talk about where that idea came from and how small businesses all over the world are benefiting from it. No, team, it ain't a sales pitch. It is a wonderful, wonderful story about how a company like 99 Designs, in the very early days of the internet, nailed this idea of crowdsourcing, in this case, design work. So I look forward to that chat with Patrick. Plenty more guests as well. Head over to crankmymarketing.com and join the forum. Join the discussion. Plenty of motivated small business owners in there, just like you. I'd love to see you in there. But until then, may your marketing be the best marketing. Have a great week.
You've been listening to the Small Business Big Marketing Show with Tim Reid. Want more marketing goodness? Then visit smallbusinessbigmarketing.com.